Diary of St. Francis de Sales, July 29. Be diligent and attentive, my dear Philothea, in the matters entrusted to you, for God wishes you to handle them with care. However, if possible, do so without haste. I mean, do not take them on with worry or anxiety, nor seek to finish them in a rush, as haste, by disturbing judgment and reason, prevents us from doing well that which we are hurriedly undertaking. When the Lord reproaches St. Martha, he says, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things." Here we see that if she had been diligent and nothing more, she would not have been disturbed, but filled with concern and unease, she became flustered and distracted, which is why she was rebuked by the Lord. What is done in impetuosity and haste is rarely done well. We must be quick, but with calmness. Philothea, Part 3, Chapter 10. We can hardly imagine the deep devotion that St. Francis de Sales had for the glorious St. Martha, hostess of Christ our Lord. He held the most amiable ideas about the Gospel chapters that pertain to this saint, and once, on St. Martha's Day, he wrote to Mother Chantal, telling her that he had encountered her in spirit in that house. Here are his own words. "I saw Martha very innocently occupied in preparing everything necessary to attend to the Lord, but a bit jealous in my view of the satisfaction her sister experienced while sitting at the feet of Jesus. Do you know how I would have wished to arrange the story? I would have liked our dear patron St. Martha to have taken her sister's place at the feet of Jesus while her sister went to prepare the dinner, thus allowing the two good sisters to share in both rest and toil. I believe the Lord would have accepted this arrangement, and it seems to me that St. Martha would have made a mistake had she wished to leave the Lord alone. Given that he came into the world to be with the children of men, as mentioned elsewhere, the saint had the idea that the institute of his nuns would be named Daughters of St. Martha, as it would have been directed towards the care of the poor. But since that did not come to pass, he humorously stated that St. Martha, ever active, having bowed to the Blessed Virgin as a good and respectful servant, had ceded the title of Mother of the Daughters of the Visitation to her. Meditation of the message of July 29. St. Francis de Sales, in his message directed to the guardians of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, offers a profound reflection on the diligence and attention required in the tasks entrusted to us. Through his correspondence, he emphasizes the importance of acting with calmness and without haste, suggesting that impatience can lead to anxiety and confusion, thereby impairing our ability to carry out our responsibilities effectively. This perspective is underscored by his reference to St. Martha, whom he encourages not only to be diligent, but also to maintain serenity in the execution of her duties, avoiding the unease that can cloud judgment and reason. Key points of the message: attention and diligence. St. Francis de Sales highlights that we must be careful and dedicated in the responsibilities entrusted to us by God. This implies not only fulfilling them, but doing so with a focused and serene mindset. Avoiding haste. The saint warns against the dangers of acting in haste. Quick actions accompanied by anxiety can lead to distraction and frustration. He cites Jesus reproaching St. Martha for her excessive concern, emphasizing that true value lies in calm diligence. Balance between action and contemplation. Through the figure of St. Martha, St. Francis reflects on the balance between action and contemplation. Ideally, both Martha and her sister Mary should have shared both work and rest at the feet of Jesus, suggesting that spiritual life encompasses moments of labor as well as those of resting in the presence of the Lord. Devotion to St. Martha. The reverence that St. Francis de Sales has for St. Martha is evident. He describes her as a figure who, while active in her duties, should also experience moments of tranquility and closeness to Christ. Thus, the saint suggests that service to others and dedication to spiritual life are not mutually exclusive, but should coexist. Foundation of the community. St. Francis de Sales' aspiration to name his institute Daughters of St. Martha indicates a desire to integrate care for the poor within the religious life. Although this did not come to fruition, the fact that he emphasized this intention shows his commitment to the values of service and devotion. In summary, St. Francis de Sales' message to the guardians of the Sacred Heart of Jesus advocates for a life of dedication and attentiveness where calmness and serenity are essential in facing daily responsibilities. He reminds us that while service and labor are important, we must not neglect the necessity of moments of stillness and spiritual reflection.